So we're bringing to a close our work with Chapter 4 of Healing America's Narratives, and that's a chapter that deals with Native American history. And just as to point to two historical decisions which capture, in some ways, the essence of how the United States federal government dealt with Native American tribes. In 1871, part of what was called the Indian Appropriations Act effectively said the federal government will no longer enter into any treaties with any Native American nation, tribe, or individual. So treaty making was done. Not that that was that big of a deal because all of the treaties were broken anyway, but they kind of codified it, say, okay, we're done making treaties, maybe because we break them anyway, so what's the point? And then in 1903, as you can take it as either a period or an exclamation point on the Indian Appropriations Act, the Supreme Court, in a ruling in Lone Wolf versus Hitchcock, again in 1903, basically said that U.S. Congress can go in and change the details of any treaty or any law previously passed with Native Americans without the consent of the Native Americans with whom that treaty or that law was agreed to. So effectively, it was done. Now, that's not the end of the history of the United States federal government and the state governments as well, and private corporations with Native Americans. But in terms of the codification of it, those two are actually pretty significant. Again, the Indian Appropriations Act of 1871 that banned any future treaties, and in the Supreme Court ruling in Lone Wolf versus Hitchcock, which basically said the federal government can change any previous agreements with Native Americans without their consent. So again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care of yourself and don't despair.